Good morning. This is inspiring Syed Masroor. I will advise on competency-based interviews. This kind of interviews are conducted in multilateral organizations like UN, World Bank, EU organizations, IMF. These are behavioral or situational interviews. STAR technique is normally applied in competency-based interviews. S for situation, T for task, A for action, R for result. So this is a STAR technique that is applied in competency based interviews. The interview is structured around the core competencies of a position. The core competencies like teamwork, decision making, leadership, project planning. The duration to answer a competency based question is normally 3 to 5 minutes, and if there is a follow-up question it goes up to 8 minutes. In reality, the interview panel is looking at the past performance is a predictor for the future performance. So normally the situational questions are asked, and how you have to prepare yourself for this kind of interview. I will give you certain guidelines. Number one, you should prepare yourself very well for the interview. You download the vacancy announcement, and when you receive a call for the interview, an email for the interview, you should start preparing yourself. You read about the organization, read their reports, their issues, what is their mission, what is their vision, so that you could be fully familiar with the organization. Then you should carefully read the vacancy announcement and see that what are the core competencies. And then you start preparing your own questions. At the same time, try to find out the relevant examples, the examples which have the depth and which have the complexity, so that when you are going to answer a question, then you could relate it to a certain real-time example which is supporting your answer and which is creating an impact. Interview panel is looking for a value proposition. What a value you can add. When you start with the interview, it starts with an icebreaker. So that is the journey that you will tell. You mostly talk about your journey, prepare an elevator pitch so that you answer your first question very well. And then it is followed by the motivation questions and then technical questions. It is normally said that first 40 seconds, these are going to create an impact. Present yourself well, show your confidence, show your positivity, keep a smile, and it is how you can create an impact on the minds of the interview panel. There are certain elements which the interview panel is looking to find a suitable candidate. For example, emotional stability, maturity, team leader, technically sound person, having a higher sense of adaptability into the new culture, how one can become a part of the team very easily, neither too introvert nor too extrovert, somewhere in between, so that somebody can do the work at the same time somebody should be extrovert. Normally there are three types of interviews nowadays. One is the telephonic interview, then it is video interview on Zoom, on Skype, on Google Meet, and then face-to-face interview. In a telephonic interview, it is important that your tone, speed of your conversation, your pitch is really good, and it should be accurate, clear to the interview panel. It is normally advisable that you either stand or you keep walking around when you are talking to the interview panel over the telephone. It is my personal experience when I was being interviewed for a position in UNDP. I was just walking around and I gave the interview, and finally I was selected. This is not one element that is going to ensure that you will be selected, but it makes you more active and you are really focused and your attention is there in the interview. In the video interview, you have to create a good environment in the place where your camera is there, background should be good, and you should be well dressed, attire should be good, presentable, punctuality is must, and you maintain an eye contact with the interview panel. In the face-to-face interview, the same qualities goes true. Eye to eye contact means that when a panelist asks a question, you look at him directly. But when you start talking about the certain element and answering a question, then you look around at the entire interview panel so that you could be engaging them and seeking their attention also. Your body language will be playing a vital role in your face to face and your video interview. Punctuality is the key factor in all kinds of interview. So you have to create a very positive and presentable demeanor of yourself. I will advise on certain points that you need to avoid in the competency based interviews. One, don't give any irrelevant or inappropriate example. It will not support you or your answer. Rather, it will create a negative image. Number two, you should not dress casually. Don't put on some funky t-shirts or something which is not showing a seriousness on your part. Number three, don't talk about benefits and entitlements. This kind of information is already available on the internet. You can see it there. But in any kind of interview, it is not advisable that you speak about the benefits, the salary, or the entitlements. If panelists asks that if you have any question, you ask, about the organization, about the role that you will play, about the team, about the supervisor, but never ask a provocative question which is going to disturb the interview panel and create a negative image into their minds. Don't connect with the interview panels on these social media. It will not reflect good on your part. If you have to send a positive note, a thank you note, send it to the person who is handling the interview and arranging the interview. That will be a positive reflection from your side. So these are some of the guidelines on the competency based interviews. These are really technical and critical. You have to be well prepared, you have to be positive, and you have to be well structured when you go for competency based interview. I wish you all the best in your next interview. If you have any follow up question, if you need further guidance, please comment in the comment box and I will get back to you. Take care and have a good day.